Hi guys, welcome back to another video. It's me Nikita helping you to come to the UK as an international student or a healthcare professional. Now today's video is actually going to answer Richu Joseph's question where he asked me, is IELTS really mandatory for the HCPC registration, and if it was not a requirement, because some people nowadays are saying that IELTS is not really a mandatory requirement for the HCPC registration. So in today's video, we are going to debunk all of these myths about whether IELTS is really important for HCPC. But before we move ahead, I would just like to say that, as you all know, I am a Band 6 physiotherapist in the NHS, and I am not an official spokesperson for the HCPC. I am not an HCPC assessor. So whatever recommendations or advice I will be sharing today is based on my own personal experience that I used from the HCPC guidance for international applicants last year while I was applying for it. So if you are interested in knowing more about the IELTS and the HCPC process, I recommend you watch this video till the end. So getting right to it, when you start the HCPC application process, the most important thing for you to know is whether you are an international applicant or not. So if you have studied your undergraduate degree in whatever field it is, whether it is occupational therapy, physiotherapy, or whatever else, if you have studied your undergraduate degree from a country that's outside UK, you need to apply under the international applicants route. So as you can see right now on your screens, it says that if you apply under the international applicants route, we ask all applicants to confirm their proficiency of English language. Now, obviously, as you could see, this was a recommendation by the HCPC themselves, so I'm not making this up. But just moving on, let's see who is exempted from providing their English language proficiency even under the international applicants route. So the two exemptions to providing an English language proficiency test are people who are born in Switzerland or who are a national of Switzerland, and secondly, people who speak English language as their first language, that is, who are native English speakers. So now all of y'all will say, oh, Nikita, I have studied my undergraduate degree in English. Maybe I did my bachelor's in physiotherapy in English. So should I really click this option? And I would say no. Because the next most important thing is reading what HCPC has said about the native English language speakers. So as you can see, HCPC has said that you can declare English as your first language. That means that you do not need to provide a certificate. However, having studied in English or taking a higher education that was taught in English is not sufficient to claim that English is your first language. The HCPC may ask you for further evidence to claim that English is your first language, especially if you are from a country that is not majority English-speaking country. So for example, if you are from a country like India, where they know for a fact that majority of the people in India would not be using English in their day-to-day language because our national language could be Hindi, they may just say, oh, now we need to stop this person's application in process even if they have ticked that English is their first language, and we need to ask them for proof of their English language proficiency. But if, for example, you are from a country like Canada where they know people use English on a day-to-day basis, they may not ask you for this particular English language proficiency test, which is the IELTS or the TOEFL. So I hope that is quite clear. Hey guys, so I know many of y'all have been asking me for my personal email ID and want to connect with me personally to discuss your own situations and what could be the best route for you to come to the UK as a healthcare practitioner. And so I will be releasing my own website where you can contact me and ask me all of your queries in the form of having one-to-one sessions with me. That is 60 minutes of you and me discussion regarding your best route. So if you are interested and if you want any more help related to HCPC registration, choosing a university, or even getting your first job in the UK, please do not forget to check out the link for my website in the description box below. Now moving ahead to the second recommendation that I have, and this is actually taken from the International Applicants Guidance page, and I have made a video on this previously, and if you are interested to it, I'm just going to leave the link for it right above. But I'm just going to highlight the section right here, right now, that says that for the language proficiency, having studied in English or undertaken education or training in an institution where the medium of instruction was English does not necessarily mean that English is your first language. And if English is not your first language, then you must provide proof of your English language proficiency. So again, as you can see right here, HCPC themselves have said that if you have studied or completed your education in English, that does not mean that it is your first language, and you will still have to provide English language proficiency tests such as the IELTS or the TOEFL. But I know that some people are just ticking the box that says English is their first language and they're actually getting their HCPC registration without any glitch. But what my recommendation over here for all of you guys out there applying would be that if you are from a country that does not speak English, please do not tick the box, especially because if you tick the box and HPCC, when they are assessing your application, feels that, oh, this person would not know English because this country does not speak English commonly or does not use English as their first language, they may actually halt your process and ask you to submit your documents again. And like I've explained before, the whole process for HCPC nearly takes 6 months. And if they ask you for additional documents, it can take up to a year. So it's entirely up to you whether you want to take the risk of submitting your HCPC application, ticking that, English is my first language, or if you want to do your English language proficiency, collect all of the documents together, submit it together, and be worry-free about, you've submitted it in the right way and you followed the HCPC recommendations for international applicants. Prevalent among HCPC applicants is whether you need to give a certain type of IELTS or a certain type of TOEFL. I'm going to right now pull up a screen from the HCPC application process that says that you need a minimum score of IELTS 7 with no element, that is reading, writing, speaking or listening, below 6.5. And if you are taking TOEFL, then your minimum score needs to be 100 out of 120. So as you can see, they are not really saying what kind of IELTS or TOEFL you need. But if you are taking IELTS, the general recommendation from HCPC is that you take a general or an academic IELTS. And obviously for TOEFL, it's the internet-based TOEFL. And some of you are also concerned about whether you can take UKVI IELTS. Now, like I've said before, on the HCPC side, it is nowhere recommended that you can give your UKVI IELTS for your HCPC application process. So they are not recommending it. So I would recommend that you stick to general or academic IELTS based on your situation. For example, if you are coming to study for masters in UK, definitely give your academic. But if you are looking just from a job perspective and you just want your visa sponsorship, definitely go for the general IELTS, that is the general IELTS tests for yourself. So now coming on to the fourth question that I think again is really important and that a lot of people have asked me about IELTS is, if you have done your masters in UK, does that mean you don't need to provide certificates for IELTS or just English language requirements? And I would say no. Because when you are applying for the HCPC, are you really providing them with your bachelor's degrees, which are obviously from a country that is not in the UK? That could be India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, or wherever else you've studied from. And if you are providing those certificate degrees or those degrees, they are obviously from a country outside UK and need to be applied through the international applicants route. And as I've showed you in the first part of this video, that if you are applying through the international applicants route, you need to provide your English language proficiency tests. And like I've said before, that some people are right now ticking that column saying that English is their first language and they're submitting their application. And if you are lucky, HCPC may actually agree with all of it and say, oh, you do not need your English language proficiency test. But if you are unlucky and if HCPC finds out that you have ticked this box and you are from a country that does not use English as their first language, you may actually be sent back the documents or you may be asked to provide additional proof of your English language requirements. And that's just going to delay your process. Like it's really going to delay your process. So something that was going to take you 6 months to get your HCPC registration is now going to take you 10 months to 1 year. And it is up to you if you want to wait for this process, delay it more, or if you want to just complete all of the English language requirements and submit your application knowing that you've done it the right way, keeping in mind the recommendations from HCPC. And now finally coming to the last part of this video where I'm again going to answer an important question is about the NARIC certificate. So NARIC basically stands for National Academic Recognition Center. So it is a national agency within the UK that compares all of our qualifications and our English language requirements from our particular degrees to the UK standards. So what this basically helps is usually in terms of your visa process, where you can actually use this certificate for your visa to say that all of the qualifications that I've had back home are equivalent to UK standards. So the ECCTIS can now be used for visas related to family and migration, citizenship, skilled worker and healthcare worker visa. And like I've said before, that this particular certificate will just establish that your qualifications and your English language proficiency is equivalent to a UK standard. But does HCPC really accept this? Well, the answer is no. Because like I said before, HCPC has not mentioned anywhere on its international applicants guidance or on its website saying that it will accept this particular certificate as a language proficiency test acceptance for you. So I would suggest that you do not give this certificate, especially with your HCPC application, because this will not help your HCPC application in any way. It may help you get a visa because the visa process may be slightly different. But if you are planning to register for the HCPC to practice as a licensed healthcare practitioner in the UK, I would say that you stick to the HCPC recommendations of the IELTS or the TOEFL. So just before I close this video off, I would just like to say that I hope I have answered all of your questions, and if I have answered any of your questions related to IELTS and HCPC in any way, please do not forget to hit the thumbs up or the like button for this video. And if you would like content similar to this about coming to the UK, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button for me. And if you have any questions, doubts, comments, or any feedback related to the video, I will definitely recommend that you leave them down in the comment section below, because as you've seen today, I do take out some comments to make videos on. So if you have any question that's concerning you, please do not hesitate to leave them down in the comment section below, because no question is big or small and I aim to answer all of your doubts. So just keeping that in mind, I would just like to say thank you so much for watching, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.